Considering that my primary channel focuses on showcasing drugs in an honest, unbiased approach, you can imagine that I receive quite a bit of hate, not just online, but also in my personal life. However, that is not the basis of today's video. In this video, I'm going to explain to you guys how to effectively reduce the amount of hate that you react to. And furthermore, I'm going to explain what it means when a reaction is unavoidable. Because God knows, I hate saying God knows, but God knows I have a lot of experience dealing with hatred, both doing these channels, nasty comments, real life, doing my old approaching girls days, in pretty much all aspects of life. I have a lot of experience dealing with hate. So if anybody would have some insight or some new tools to give you in your toolbox to dig out when you're faced with a problem, a new perspective for an old problem, then it would probably be me. So I hope that, some of this is news to some of you. For me, this is all just so obvious, but I often fail to realize that not everyone sees things the way I do sometimes, which is great. We all have something unique to share with each other, and we can all learn from one another. But anyway, enough happy hippie talk for now. Of course, not all of the techniques that I'm going to be talking about are applicable to every situation. However, I am confident that these techniques do apply to the majority of scenarios in your everyday life where you feel attacked, where you feel rejected, or even dismissed. Let's start with an example. As some of you may know, before I met my girlfriend, I used to approach a lot of random strangers in environments like bars or even coffee shops. Now, I wasn't looking to necessarily get laid. I just recognized that in order to bring someone new into my life, I had to go out into social settings and talk to new people. I mean, obviously. Anyway, during this period, I faced not only a lot of rejection, but a lot of negativity thrown at me. Let's say I went up to approach a beautiful girl, and let's say her response was something like, "Ugh, get away from me, you ugly, short, bald man. I don't want to talk to you." Sounds like a brutal response, right? Well, it doesn't have to be. I actually have a few options in regards to how I can respond to this. Notice that I said respond and not react. You want to train yourself to respond, not react. Reactions are often emotionally based, and they're often misguided. Responses can be emotionally charged, but they're also coupled with logic. If this particular insult were to happen to me, and it has, I would first assess the validity of the insult. She called me short? Well, that's true. Oh, she also called me bald? Yeah, I guess that's also true. Why would I get upset about someone pointing out physical attributes which are true? The only reason that this particular insult would bother me is if I wasn't in alignment with reality. Furthermore, bald and short are relative. Compared to a child, I'm actually pretty tall. But relative to this context, relative to other men, yes, I'm shorter than the average guy. The real question is, do I accept being short and bald? If I do accept it, then there's really no reason why this particular insult would bother me. Now, as for ugly, well, that's just too subjective for me to even worry about. I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Now, the only thing that I could actually take issue with, given this insult, would be perhaps her tonality, the way that she delivered it to me. Was she being rude to me? But even that is negligible. Perhaps she's been approached by 10 other really boring guys that day. Maybe she's tired of having random guys come up and talk to her. Besides, I can't control another person's reaction or their emotions. I mean, I can barely control my own. I can only try to guide them. The truth is, whether you are going to allow something to affect you, either negatively or positively, it's up to you. It's your choice and yours alone. It's also telling of your true thoughts and feelings when you can't help but react undesirably. That all being said, if I accept being short, I accept being bald, I accept that perhaps she's in a bad mood, then there is actually no reason for me to get upset with her for the perceived insult. When it comes to women in bars, you'll soon realize that most of their negative responses to you are tests. However, in the real world, when people are insulting you or hating on you, it's not necessarily always a test. A lot of the time, people are simply trying to drag you down to their current level of sadness and misery. When someone is showing you hate, what they want is for you to give them a reaction. That's what they are expecting out of you. If you don't react to their insult or their hatred, then you're not giving them what they want. In fact, no reaction is often the best course of action in these situations. As long as you just sit back, don't react, don't give them what they want, then you'll notice that their fire will soon be put out. But what if what they're saying is incorrect? What if you don't agree with their insult, like I happen to agree with the other perceived example of an insult? Another example, let's say that someone comes to me and they say that through making these videos, through making my harm reduction and safety videos about drugs, Instead of actually helping people and promoting safety, I'm actually promoting dangerous acts, and I'm doing, society a disservice. Now, clearly I don't agree with this, and if I like, I can engage them in a friendly debate, but there is no reason why I have to let that debate negatively affect my emotions. Unless, and this is big, unless on some level I actually agree with them. Perhaps I'm actually worried that what I'm doing is ultimately bad. Perhaps because of this, I feel the need to viciously defend my stance, and I feel the need to try to seek out other people to agree with me, to aid in my opinion. Maybe what I need is constant reassurance that I'm doing the right thing. If their attack, if their insult creates an emotional response in me, what it can often mean is that there's some validity there. There's something that I need to look at. And in other words, what that ultimately means is they have just offered me constructive criticism. I can leave that interaction and I can explore perhaps why I don't feel confident in what I'm doing. I can work on ways to fix this feeling, and as a result, I could offer better content. Now, this isn't a real example. I'm quite confident in the safety information that I'm providing. However, it does pose as a very good example. The keys to dealing with hatred are very simple, and they come down to just a few core principles. First, accept that, as much as you would like to, you can't control other people. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. Second, accept that your emotions are on autopilot. They have been programmed, pre-programmed from birth, from society, to react in a specific way. And in most scenarios, when someone is showing you hatred and negativity, that pre-programmed response or reaction is going to be negative. It's going to be defensive. For example, the need to defend your honor is kind of taught from childhood. Like, how dare they insult me? How would it look to other people if I let them disrespect me like this? I mean, dear God, man, your image is at stake here. The thing is, it really doesn't matter how your interactions look to other people, because you've got to understand that a lot of these other people are operating on broken systems themselves. The truth is, if you feel the need to defend or react to someone who is insulting you, you are allotting them the power to affect your emotions. Being insulted is a choice. No one can insult me unless I let them. I mean, this just sounds so obvious to me, and it blows my mind that I felt the need to make this video, because I always see people responding so poorly. I mean it when I say no one can insult you without your permission. And why on earth would I give someone that much permission or that much power over my emotions? I barely have enough power myself over my emotions. I'm not going to give that to someone else. That's insane. Of course, there are also many reasons why someone is going to display anger or hatred towards you. Sometimes it's due to them feeling shitty themselves, sometimes it is because they want to test you, sometimes it's because they feel inadequate and they're jealous of you. Also interesting to note is sometimes people will display negativity or hatred towards you because what's actually happening is you are a mirror. You are mirroring negative qualities that they have in themselves, and they're spotting them so they can see your negative attributes so clearly because they're the same that they share. And if they particularly have a distaste for their own negative qualities, or maybe they're in denial that that's something that they themselves possess, which a lot of people are in denial of the shitty qualities that they have. And what they'll do in those situations is they'll really pick at you if you share that quality. They'll lash out big time. So they're just seeing a mirror image of what they themselves don't like. And this happens so often. And there are also many other reasons. Now, I want to take things even further. Let's say that you, the viewer, are the person who is being the aggressive, insulting hater. I want you to ask yourself, next time you decide to go on a rant, or next time you decide to attack someone, just stop, take a breath, interrupt that thought process, and ask yourself why you feel like demonstrating aggression over perhaps understanding. Your sense of self may come up with some stupid reason like, oh, haha, it's fun. It's fun to be mean to others. But come on, who are we kidding? We all know that that's not actually why. It's really not fun to put others down and insult them. In fact, only a masochist would believe this. And perhaps you are. Perhaps that's what you are. You are a masochist. You enjoy receiving pain. Maybe you're addicted to displeasure, and perhaps you have to sit on these feelings and get to the root of them. A lot of the reason people display hatred really is just because they hate themselves, or they just feel really shitty all the time. Just try this. Try being mean next time you're really happy. I promise it's very difficult to be really, really mean when you're really, really happy. The two just kind of don't coincide with each other. In these scenarios, I personally see it beneficial to, instead of reacting to them or being combative with them, to instead just try to understand their reasoning. I want to understand why they feel so shitty, if there's something I can do to help. Remember, you can create this barrier in front of you where all insults just kind of like ping off. You do not have to let them penetrate that barrier and actually affect you. You have full reign of what's going to affect you and what's not. And if that's the case, then if someone's being mean to you, just try to push your ego aside and show them a kindness. Try to figure out why they're being so nasty. And hey, sometimes this will just antagonize them more and they'll just keep being mean. And in which case, just send them on their merry way and exit the situation, because again, it's not going to be worth your energy. The thing is, what it all comes down to is you and I, we're all in this life together. It's better for everybody if we try to understand each other versus insult and put each other down. I mean, often the biggest haters are just those themselves who feel hated. Anyway, I hope that this video could help some of you guys out there who might be struggling to deal with hate and who just react poorly to people being mean to them. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit like. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Wait, I just said that. A big thank you to everyone who's pledging to me on Patreon right now. You guys seriously make these videos happen. But yeah, till next time, stay safe, everybody. Don't let other people affect you negatively, because yeah, no reason to give them that much power. And take care, guys. See you later.